transition counselor, and I handle everything eighth grade. Everything eighth graders moving on to high school. We have 3 outpatient counselors. Miss O is the counselor, Miss Okwanu, and we call her Miss O. She is the counselor for students last name A to G. Mrs. Washington is the counselor for students last name H to O. And Miss Garrett, wait, Miss Garrett. Miss Garrett is our counselor for students last name P through Z. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, guys, for those of you who don't know your academy, okay, so each student is assigned an academy, which houses your assistant principal and your counselor as the secretary for that academy. Again, if your student's last name is A to G, they will be assigned to the Gold Academy. That is Dr. Kerr as the assistant principal and Ms. O as the counselor. If your student's last name is H to O, Mrs. Jones is the assistant principal, okay, and Ms. Washington is the counselor. If your student's last name is P to Z, you are in the Red Academy with Ms. Garrett and Mr. Medical Chair. We call him Mr. V. He will be the assistant principal for that academy. And of course, I'm housed in the Green Academy, but I am the counselor for all 8th grade.
X to O là mid green.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some of your students will be enrolled in high school credit classes. Is this a requirement? No. However, some students are enrolled in a high school credit class in 8th grade. Okay? What does that mean? That means that your student will be in Algebra 1, Art 1, the Professional College and Career Readiness class, Spanish 1, Spanish for native speakers, or theater art. They are enrolled in a high school credit class, okay? Now, when you are enrolled in these classes, we want 8th graders to take these classes very seriously. We understand that they are 8th graders taking a high school credit class in 8th grade. Teachers understand that. However, they are getting a lot of good practice for what's coming in high school, okay? They are expected to work and do high school level work, okay? So when they're in these classes, please make sure your student is on top of their work, that they are studying, that they are in close contact with their teacher, because these grades from these high school credit classes go directly onto their high school transcript, okay? And it also it directly affects their high school GPA, which is their grade point average, okay? So this is not any time to play with your high school grade point average. You really need to take that very seriously. So let's say, for instance, your student is in R1, and they make a 100 or a 90. That means that A is going to directly affect their high school
Lấy mấy cái đó
grade
kìa.
point average.
Mấy cái đó con lấy kìa.
If they make an 8, that is a good thing. If they fail
Là
that
có hai đó
class,
thôi, còn ạc
is
tôi
that a
lấy.
good thing? No. Okay? So we do want to make sure that they're taking that very seriously because it will directly affect their high school grade point
Chia thừa
average.
ạc.
Okay?
Ạc đi.
All right. Just like I explained, what I want to point out is when you think about your high school grade point average and your high school grades, some of your kids are not thinking about, college a lot of times, or whatever they're going to do after high school. It doesn't have to be college. It could be any program that they desire. And their high school GPA will directly affect whether they can get a scholarship, whether they can get into the school of their choice, whether they can get into a reputable program that they're interested in. So that GPA and those grades directly affect what's gonna happen in the next 4 years and their decision that they're gonna make after graduation, okay? Because they're all gonna graduate, right? That's right. Parents, students, we have a lot of seats. We have a lot of seats down here. Please feel free. I don't mind you walking in front of us while we're proceeding. It is quite all right. There's plenty of room down here for you guys to sit down. Thank you for coming. All right, guys. If your student is enrolled in a high school credit class in their 8th grade year, they are going to be required to take semester and final exams, okay? Now, of course, regular ed classes, they take final exams as well. However, we want to make sure that you guys know those exams affect the GPA as well, affect their high school GPA. So be very aware of that and talk to your students about the importance of that and keep in touch with your teachers, okay? Endorsements and career questions. How many of you have heard of endorsement? Have you heard the word endorsement? Do you even know what an endorsement means? How many students have heard the word endorsement? I see a couple of hands. Okay, it's relatively new. I guess it's newer. When I was in school, everybody took the same classes. We all took the same classes. Same electives. What about you, parents?